writing in a handmade journal, playing with paper, playing with those little pieces of scrap paper with paint and maybe washi tape too. It's so satisfying, so rewarding and deeply relaxing. When I started on YouTube, I found lots of other channels who were doing junk journal spreads like this and like this and like this. They called it Junk Journal with Me, and their pages were absolutely beautiful. They were glorious. I was really curious and I wanted to know more. So today I'd like to share what I learned and my own journaling and paper passion by answering 3 key questions. What is Junk Journal with Me? How do you get started? And what tips and advice can I share? Let's be frank, Junk Journal with Me is not a commonly known term, and it's not one that I knew either when I started on this journey. It's a bit like signature or fussy cut, and I didn't know what it meant. And when I don't know what words mean, I feel a little bit insecure, and it makes me more reticent to participate and to join in. So I watched lots and lots of videos, and I've spoken to some other YouTubers, and today I would like to just share what I learned. So this video is for you if you're a beginner and you love junk journaling, writing in a junk journal and creating those lovely journal spreads. But it's also for you if you're more advanced, because I'm hoping that it will help you maybe reflect on your own personal journaling journey. So what is Junk Journal with Me? Well, it definitely isn't what I thought it was. What do I mean by that? When I spoke to Meg Journals here on YouTube, she described it as a process, and if you look at the other channels that are participating in this video collaboration, like Joanna Clough and 49 Dragonflies, like Helen Colebrook and of course Meg herself, I think you'll see that that makes a lot of sense. Meg described it as both creating and connecting, and I think that really describes it very well. You're creating a beautiful spread in your own way, but you're also sharing it at the same time. You might be sharing it here on YouTube, or you might be sharing it on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else. So let's take an example. The process might involve gluing paper. So you might take some papers, there might be old packaging or scrapbook paper, and you might glue that or stick it onto a journal page to act as a mat or as a base for a spread. You might create a collage, which is always a lot of fun, which is sticking lots of bits of paper together and making something really beautiful. It might involve stamping, which is a very satisfying and relaxing thing to do, and then you could take your paints and colour it in, or your watercolour pencils. It often involves adding some kind of ephemera or embellishments, or maybe doing some doodles and colouring those in. It often involves writing, and I have a bronzy gold Lamy fountain pen that I like to use. Really easy to hold, it flows incredibly nicely, and I also have a rather chunky and very beautiful Mont Blanc pen. But writing in it is completely up to you, and also so is the topic and the nature of the writing that you do. Sometimes I might write a poem, and often that will just be one from a book. Sometimes I might write about the past, more of a diary style approach, and you could also write about the future. You could make lists and some positive thoughts. I definitely like to make my pages interactive, and by that I mean I like flip outy pockets, adding with washi. I like to make and add tags that you can pull out, maybe with a little ribbon or a thread, and I like to have little tuck spots and places where I can put a piece of paper and write some thoughts and some notes on that. The part of Junk Journal with Me that hadn't been so obvious is the with me bit, the inclusive bit. I guess I just thought about the creating of the journal spread, but really it's the doing it together, the inclusive bit, the process element that makes it so special, and I think really calming and relaxing too. So being curious and wanting to have a go, I had a go at creating my own journal spreads, and I admit doing the with me bit and filming it for YouTube was incredibly scary, and I definitely felt anxious, worried that people wouldn't like it, worried that I'd look silly, worried that I couldn't do it. But I pressed on, I had a play, I had a go, and I guess I just immersed myself in playing with paper, which is what I like to do. I created some spreads where I just wrote down some ideas around a prompt. I created some spreads where I added my poems, and I did one or two at New Year where I wrote some positive, forward-looking lists of really happy things to do. So if that's what Junk Journal with me is all about, then how do you get started? When I chatted to Meg this week, she said something really useful. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And I think that's a really sensible and a positive and supportive way to approach this. Gather your supplies, have them handy on a desk around you, and maybe find a quiet place to sit as well. You'll need some sort of journal, so that could be a junk journal that you've made. This is the sort of size that I like to do my spreads in. I've got a collection in here. You might want a smaller one, and if you don't have one that you've already made, then I do have some videos on my channel suggesting how you might make these. They're really, really easy to put together. You could also use a classic art journal of sorts. So this is one that I've filled with a few spreads. Just a mixture of things, all different colours, all different styles, a little bit of writing. Or you could use an old book. You could turn a book into an altered book and have a go at filling that. The choice is yours, and it's a lot of fun even just making up a journal, knowing that you're going to fill the pages in it. You'll want some form of papers and glue, and I like using packaging, I like using scrapbook papers, and I love using washi tape here and there just to add a little bit of an accent. Book pages are an absolutely fantastic resource to use in our junk journaling, and I recently did a video of my top 10 books for using in junk journals, so check that out for some inspiration, that might help. So you might want some pens, maybe in different colours, and some extra embellishments, and I'll give you a tip in a few minutes about making those embellishments, those ephemera, so that you can save money and this not be too costly an exercise. Have a think about what you want to write about in your journal. Does it help you to put stuff down talking about the past? Do you want to think about the future? Or maybe you'd like to respond to a prompt. And a great way to do that is to get involved in challenges like Junk Journal July and Junk Journal January. And this video is part of the kickoff to Junk Journal July, which Meg Journals here on YouTube and on Instagram is hosting. Step 3 for getting going is to just dive in and play. And my encouragement to you is, don't try to copy somebody else's style. Yes, there are some stunning journal spreads here on YouTube. There are some incredibly talented people. Not only don't copy, don't even start out thinking you need to like what you do. If you are a beginner, my suggestion is allow yourself to fail, allow yourself to create something that you're not even necessarily going to like, because boy is that freedom empowering, and I think that's the journey we can go on to really develop and enjoy what we do. The whole point of this is just to have fun and relax, so allow yourself to just do anything that comes to mind. Step 4 is kind of optional. It's the with me bit of Junk Journal with me. So if you're feeling brave, if you dare, then turn your mobile phone camera on and record what you do. But if this inhibits your thinking and your creative process, if this stops you creating a journal spread and just doing it, then don't turn it on. But if you do turn it on and record it, and wouldn't that be fantastic, don't change what you do. do what you would do as if the camera weren't there, and then share it. Share it on YouTube, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook. But overall, enjoy it, relax and play. So what tips and advice can I share? Well, J is for just begin, and I said this in my video, what is a junk journal? The most common question I get, the most common comment I get on my channel is, how do I begin? And my encouragement is, don't even think. Set yourself up at that desk with your supplies and just have a go. Like never before, we deserve some happy time, some peaceful time and some relaxation. So give that time to yourself and just begin, just do it. J is also for journal, and you'll make that choice about where you're going to put your spread. My encouragement is to make your own. I just feel it's so much more satisfying to be creating a journal spread in a handmade junk journal, although I do alternate and I like the variety. But there's something deeply special and rewarding when you've put together maybe a single signature junk journal and you open that book and you know you're going to create something and add even more of your personality to the page. W is for whatever supplies you have, use those. So I used to make cards and I have quite a lot of colourful papers. I also like colour in my journal spreads. So in a world where there seems to be an awful lot of neutral, whether that's in journal spreads or in fashion, I guess I feel a little bit different, and maybe at times I felt a bit awkward, but I love using the colour in my journal spreads, and I'm using what I have, I'm using those scrapbook supplies. At the end of the day, it's personal. We are all going to create different journal spreads because our supplies are different, but whatever you create, just love the process and your page will sing. And M is for make your own ephemera and embellishments. If there's one way to spend a lot of money in this world of junk journaling, which is kind of ironic, it's adding all those little bits of extras to a page. So much as I love that tactile element, the pockets and the tags, my suggestion is to have a go at making your own. I'll leave links in the description box down below to videos where I make some really, really simple pockets, and I've got a playlist on my channel that you can save where I make lots of pockets, tags, envelopes, flowers, all sorts of things from your own little pieces of paper that you can add to your journal page. And when you've made your journal page, even if you haven't filmed the process, do have a go at sharing it. Dare to be brave. Take a picture and put it on Instagram with the hashtag junkjournaljuly. Share it on Facebook, send it to your friends. Get that feedback and feel really good about what you've done. And if you'd like to see what we're creating in July, do check out Junk Journal July over on Instagram. Just look up the hashtag Junk Journal July and you'll see an abundance of inspiration and a whole load of spreads. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you're a paper lover and you'd like to see more. Check out my video where I talk about those top 10 books for making junk journals and decorating journals. I think that might help you too, and I hope to see you soon.